Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Whole Reffin' Show. It is Friday, May 30th. The year is 2025. And me and Mike Orange are here with you again. What's up, Mike?
Not much. Just sitting here, enjoyed a wonderful day at Walmart that I work at. Uh, now, I, working at Walmart is, could be fun, but it's got its very challenging times.
Yeah.
But what you been up to, buddy?
Ah, just, you know, not much today. I had to work too, of course. Um, and had an interesting day. A lot of slow in my day. And I was just so happy to get out of there this evening and get home. So that's all I got to say about that. And if everyone doesn't know that's listening, the way me and Mike met was when I moved back up into this area, which is in the Roanoke, Virginia area. Um, I went to work for Walmart. I became a auto center lead, and I did that for several years and moved on to a stocking team lead. But Mike was in management too, and that's how we met. And we've been buds ever since. We always talked wrestling at work. We goofed around a little bit when we got by with it. Used to sing the Sweet Caroline song. Um, and I had a good time. Had a couple other friends there, and that's how me and Mike met. So, and then his love for pro wrestling as a fan, and he loves Dusty Rhodes. He loves Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm sure you've heard that. Also, if you didn't know, he loves David Arquette and Vince Russo, bro. And, we just always talked wrestling, and then this podcast came about, and then, Mike's the co-host now with me. So there you go. That's a little fill in there, Mike.
I think you did pretty good, but you forgot that during work hours we will go because we worked right beside each other. I was in hardware, then I went to stationery, but we kept on going to each other, just too sweeting to each other.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
so like we had a good time when they let us.
Yeah. Well, we had a lot more better times than bad times at one point. But things have changed. I moved on. I'm out of that management. I'm managing somewhere else. And then life moves on. I got something big happening this summer. We're going in detail in the next couple of weeks. And we'll talk about that on the podcast. And no, I'm not talking about when we go to video and start YouTubing it. This is a life changing thing for here at home. And, but we're going to go in detail more about that. I got some shows coming up in June 21st and 22nd, working for NICW in Stewart, Virginia. Double shot weekend, 7 o'clock bell time on Saturday, the 21st of June at the Rotary Club building. And then the next day, same spot at the Rotary Club building, but a 4 p.m. Sunday bell time on June 22nd. So come on out, check out some good wrestling up in this area. So, Mike, do you have anything else to talk about before we head on into some wrestling talk?
Uh, no, I think we're good to go with the wrestling. Uh, what do you? I know you've seen it and stuff. What do you think about John Laurinaitis? I know as a person, you, you don't care too much for him,
No, that's true.
but the
One of the
did you
few,
see the
one
huh?
of the many I may add. Okay, go ahead.
No, did you see the headlines this week up for him and Vince McMahon and that Jeanette lawsuit?
Yes, Jeanette Grant. Is it Janelle Grant? Jeanette Grant? Something like I can't remember her name, but I know
Something
exactly.
like that.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know the situation. We've all heard it. Um, I did read about it, and I'm sitting there going, this. The only thing that crossed my mind was and this to be truthful, anybody would be scared in this situation because it's a bad lawsuit. It's potentially, um, I'm assuming people can get some serious time for this kind of stuff, you know? So, I don't know the laws and all, but it seems that way. And Johnny's all wrapped up in the middle of this, and he's probably scared, uh, just scared out of his life. I'm not trying to use any bad words, but scared, poo poo. You know what I'm saying? And he's probably just trying to get out of the problem, and he's cooperating is by the way it looks, just to get his name off of it, and he's throwing all the shade over towards Vinnie Mac. So that's exactly what's going on, and anybody that reads it knows that. Um, it's got to be in a hard position. Like I said, he's probably scared. I don't blame him to be scared. This is some serious allegations, and if they really were doing this stuff, comes out that they did, by him doing this and giving up evidence or whatever the case may be, he's going to end up cutting some kind of plea deal, and it's all going to make Vince look bad. But it doesn't surprise me. He's probably been trying to worm his way out since the beginning of this crap. So,
Do you think he's gonna get off free if he gives up evidence, or you think he's still gonna probably still face maybe like jail time, but maybe not
um,
as much?
no, to be honest with you, I would assume, and like I said, we haven't heard too much into it yet, just a little bit that we have read. Right now, my opinion is he's probably going to have a lot of fines. I guess you can call him that. And he'll have to pay off some stuff, and by doing this and cooperating, I wouldn't be surprised if he just pays his part and they'll let him off the hook. Because money talk and money talks and BS walks, and obviously if the young lady's going to get money from this as well, that's going to make her happy. Plus they're pinning down probably the main guy she's going after. So yeah, I see this as possibly Johnny just paying a bunch of money out and then walking away.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But who knows? Maybe he'll still maybe have to serve a little bit of time, or maybe community service or something.
Well, I
I
don't
don't.
know. People power, man. People power. Remember?
Yeah, but I mean, according to the reports, like he had a lot to do up in it too. So I don't think he's gonna get off like free. You know?
Yeah. So basically, you're looking at like a plea deal to get less time, and by cooperating and throwing more towards Vince, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it could be. Um, it's a crazy world because just yesterday or the day before, I know you see the news headlines as well, national news. The Chrisleys were released from prison and pardoned by President Trump.
Uh, yeah. I don't know how I really feel about that. But I mean, I guess he could do whatever he wants. I mean, when we had that uh dummy Joe Biden up in there, he pardoned his, who was it, his son or something,
Yeah.
like right before he left office. So I mean, I guess they could do whatever they want, but I don't see how you could do whatever for taxes like that or whatever they did, and then get a pardon from it. You know?
Yeah, it's so nuts. It's like all them millions of dollars and then they're pardoned. But I'll just say the facts here. Tax return comes back on me, and the IRS says, "Hey, you owe us a couple more thousand or a few more thousand this year. I got to pay out." They take every dime from me, but these people that are rich and they embezzled this money, it looks like, you know, there you go. He pardons them. So I guess they don't owe no money back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, it was like what, like 30 million or something?
Yeah, some
Or
crazy
like,
amount.
like, do they have to pay that back, or are
I'm
they
guess.
for?
Yeah, him pardon them. From what I understand, I guess they're free. That's all I know. I don't know anything else other than that. And then I was just like, what? When I heard it, on the news the other morning. But anyway, so who knows, man? But yeah, back to what you brought up with John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace, as some people know him. Who knows what's going on with that? But honestly, I'm interested to see how this plays out with other people's names that's been brought up in the suit as well. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Brock Lesnar's name was brought up in the suit. I could be wrong. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, that's why he's been off for what, about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Uh, that's why Braun Breaker actually got on the main roster, because he took what Brock Lesnar was going to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's sad to say, because I like Brock. He deserves, just like every wrestler. Like, everybody has like bad moments and stuff, and yeah, I didn't like how like the story is and stuff. But everybody deserves a second chance and stuff.
Yeah, because we really don't know all the details. Everybody else, unless they're involved in the situation, we just see and hear things and read things, and then we got to take our own interpretation of what we see and hear. So, but so far, you haven't heard his name brought up as cooperating with anything or any more his name brought up at all. Just John Laurinaitis' name popped up this week, and it's interesting to see where this will go. And in the next few weeks, maybe they'll shed some more light on the situation. But who knows? Um, so do we have any other new news? Oh yeah, we do. Never mind. I just thought of this. We were talking about Trick Williams last week and Joe Hendry and all that. Remember? And just what happened on Sunday. Trick Williams won the TNA Heavyweight Championship in Tampa, Florida at the
Uh,
pay-per-view.
I I mean, I like it because the working relationship, but it started to feel a lot like the AEW and Impact relationship. Uh, AEW with Kenny Omega won the Impact title and pretty much held it out for what, months and stuff, but they never won an AEW title. Is it going to be the same way with WWE now?
Right. So basically what you're saying is it going to be, hey, our NXT, our WWE guys are going to win your titles, but we're not going to let any of your guys or girls, in that fact, win any of our championships. I see where you're going at with this. Like a one-sided deal type thing. It definitely felt that way with AEW. You are right. When you go back and look at that time period when it was happening, and I believe it was happening during the COVID period, which was a rough time for the business, if I remember correctly, because no crowds were allowed in. But I do remember that the Kenny Omega stuff. Yeah, I hope not. Because you could do a lot of things with Trick Williams right now. He could come over to TNA, defend that TNA championship against all the TNA competitors. It looks like Mike Santana, I believe, looks like he's going to be one of the first ones going after it by the way it looked. But he could also defend it against notable challenges in NXT and have some really good matches for the TNA Heavyweight Championship. So, Trick's a talented guy. Both companies have talented people. But, honestly, Does this mean that Joe Hendry is a WWE guy now and he's getting signed to WWE? What's going on with that? What is going on? Or is it just, hey, we're dropping the belt because of the talent exchange, and then maybe Joe Hendry wins the championship back? Who knows, right? I mean, we really don't know where it's going, but do you believe that Mike Santana is the next challenger, or do you think Joe Hendry's going to get a rematch?
Oh, Mike Santana's actually going to wrestle for the championship, I think, next Thursday on TNA. Or is it NXT? It's sometimes next week,
If
which,
it's Tuesday, it's NXT, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember. They talked about it on NXT, but everything's been going on. I can't remember. I gotta look it up again. But I like the match. I think it's gonna be a really good one. I just don't see Trick Williams losing it. What, a week and a half after winning it? Uh, which he could, but I think it's gonna be uh him holding on to it probably maybe a month, and then lose it to maybe back to Joe Hendry, maybe at a WWE pay-per-view or something.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are probably upset over the title exchange that are diehard TNA fans. But I see it right now. I see this as an opportunity for both companies to showcase their young talent and give them a shot. And it's a good talent exchange right now. But I do understand your point of view where it's like, hey, is a TNA guy going to win an NXT title, or is it just the NXT talent winning titles from TNA? So I see where you're going at with this. It is interesting. I can't wait to see what kind of a working relationship these companies continue to go with, because it has been interesting. It has been good TV. It has been good wrestling, and both of them have a lot of good young talent. And that's what the business needs to flourish. They need the continuation of younger talents coming in that are progressing and getting good to let this business go on years and years down the road, and all that. So I think it's a good thing in the long run. So I've enjoyed it. So do we have any more news on Hogan this week? I think it was kind of quiet, right?
Yeah, it was quiet. The only other thing that I saw, like over the week or whatever, was we talked about the last couple of weeks about John Cena's heel turn and what we thought about it and stuff. And I said I didn't really. The only part I didn't like was The Rock didn't show up for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I I don't know if you sent it to me or I sent it to you, but it's out there now that The Rock is most likely not going to be back in WWE until 2027 because his schedule is all booked up with like movies and stuff.
Correct. So, so The Rock starts this program, and then he doesn't actually finish the program, is what it comes down to. But I know you saw this a few weeks back as well, that The Rock came in. I think the pay per view was in Canada that month when they started the Angle, and he was asked to be there to help. From what I understand, ticket sales is what I heard. So I wonder if it was a case of, hey, we're going to start this program, have The Rock here. We know you got other prior, arrangements for this long period of time, but we need you to help boost the product going into Mania. So maybe that was the case. And, The Rock also is invested in the TKO, correct?
Yeah, he's on the TKO board.
Gotcha.
So pretty much he's so it's WWE. he's in, he's over top of WWE. So I think he could be in charge of what maybe the UFC since TKO owns the UFC and WWE. So I guess he could be the UFC bosses too.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically, regardless of what anybody thinks, The Rock can have any schedule he wants. So, but when it comes down to it, I'll say this. Another thing, they also, probably look at Cena in a high regard. They know Cena can carry the ball. Cause he's been around for 20 years on top, at least. I mean, I don't know exactly how many years, but it's been a while. And, Cena's the guy, right? So he's one of the best of all time. And he earned that right. So, and, Saturday night's main event was a good show. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his match with, I call him Quick. I know, Ronnie Killens. Ronnie and him did really good, man. They had a really good match. I thought the story was told good enough. And then you got Cody involved, later in the show at the end of the Logan Paul match. And then they have this tag team match set up for Money in the Bank. It's going to be good. It's Cody and, Uso working Cena and Logan. I mean, Logan is a guy that everybody hates. So WWE is actually using him in a good way because people that don't even know this guy personally just hate him from his YouTube stuff. And so this guy's got he's got major heat. So this is going to be a good tag team match coming in Money in the Bank, man. I'm looking forward to that right there. And I'm glad to see Cody back. I'm a big fan of the Rhodes family anyway. And, I just think right now but when I say this, right now wrestling's really good, but in all honesty, I love wrestling so much, even at periods of time when people have said, hey man, I can't stand this right now. I've always found the good in something. I just find pro wrestling to be the most entertaining thing ever, but that's also why I got involved in it. But, I don't know what your take is, but I'm looking forward to Cena doing more of his heel stuff. Because I'm actually starting to enjoy watching him when I watch the product. I don't catch everything or every show that they do, but the stuff I watch, I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I I like the tag team match that's set up. Uh, but to get the heat, this is the perfect opportunity. We talked about it last week with the custom championships, try to defend them. But this is your chance to have the so-called title, hardcore title, of Travis Scott coming down to a ring in a match. It's the perfect storyline to put him in a tag team match where he's protected and everything. He don't have to do much, but he's got he's with Cena. He busted Cody Rhodes' eardrum. It just fits so well. But you put Logan Paul in it. Uh, I don't know. I think I would probably enjoy a little bit more with Travis Scott just to give Cena and Travis Scott more heat, give them more heel push and stuff. But I mean, it's gonna be good with Logan Paul.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. And, as much as, we've joked before about the Logan and his brother both, especially at the Tyson fight. The guys have entertainment value to them, or the boxing match with Tyson, even though, the way it went, they pulled it off. And then this kid continues to pull off his run in the WWE, but he is talented regardless of what anybody thinks of Logan. He is talented. He works great. His match with AJ was great. His match with Uso on Saturday night's main event, I enjoyed that. So you got to give the kid credit where credit is due. He is a talented professional wrestler, He fits today's product. Do I think he would have fit in the product 25 years ago, 30 years ago? Not a chance. But today's product, Logan Paul fits in very well. And with the way, you got all this social media and stuff, he helps out the product. He gets the views on the product. He's bringing in the crowds. So good for him and good for WWE. To know how to market their product still. They've always been the leader in marketing, Mike. I'll tell you that right now. And I learned that firsthand, how much better of marketing that they are than any other wrestling company I've been affiliated with through my career. When I was at WCW was always where I wanted to go. It was what I loved watching when I was growing up as a kid, teenager. I wanted to get into WCW one day. I did, but after being there and being with the WWE, you can see how they market things. WWE is light years ahead of any other wrestling promotion out there. And they always will be. And that's why McMahon took it over in the 80s, and they've been a stronghold. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the best at like marketing and stuff like that. I saw an interview with Chris Jericho, and of course Vince ain't doing it no more, Vince McMahon. But he said Vince was really good at making the details of the product better. He'll take a really good idea, and he said he'll be thinking about it for like 20 minutes, dead silence. But after he says something, just barely tweak it just a little bit, and somehow it made it that much great. So if he could do that, he trains his people to do this stuff. So I mean, just the interviews, they've been really good at making the product better. Sometimes it don't show it on TV, but actually doing it is like talking about it. They're really good at it.
Yeah. I mean, they're the leader in sports entertainment, professional wrestling too, regardless if anybody wants to see that. And and when you look at the other companies, which I highly enjoy a lot of different talents in these companies. I enjoy TNA. I enjoy AEW, and I'm not knocking them, but WWE is the leader, just like they were the leader, and it showed in the end, regardless of how many weeks WCW won back in the 90s, that WWE is the leader. Now, you did make a valid point. Vince had taught people, and being that Triple H is a student of the game, like everybody says he is, he learned a lot. Shawn Michaels learned a lot. BG James, I loved working with him in TNA. He was a great agent there. I know he's a great agent at WWE. You got all this great talent. You got Terry Taylor down in developmental in Orlando. Who else better to help train your students than this guy, right? So they know what they're doing. They got a great facilities. But I love all pro wrestling, like I said, and even down to the independents, because I think the independents are a backbone of the professional wrestling business, for the main fact that all the great people come from the independents most of the time. There's some cases that the WWE picks up college talents and different people, walk of lives, and train them, and they're big stars. But the majority of them come from the independents, and you see them before they are stars, and it's just remarkable. So, like the Hardys and Omega, and I was a part of that, and part of Stallions group, and a lot of guys from Stallions and Omega both went to be at TV or big stars or something. And, it's just so cool. But, while we're on the independent talk real quick, I wanted to remind everybody just one more time that on June 21st and 22nd, Stewart, Virginia, NICW, that's National Independent Championship Wrestling is what it stands for. Good group of guys doing 2 shows that weekend at the Rotary Club building in Stewart. And Saturday night show on the 21st starts at 7 and Sundays at 4 p.m. So do not miss it. I'll be there in attendance. I'll be there in the stripes. And I'm looking forward to having 2 great days of refereeing some good matches with some of the good talent.
Sounds good. You said you really enjoy AEW right now, right?
I enjoy all wrestling, yes. I find something
Uh,
good in all wrestling. I do. I really do.
Okay, so I got a question, and my opinion, I don't like it whatsoever.
Any
But
of it?
I want your thoughts on this, okay?
Okay.
The AEW World Championship. I haven't seen it. John Moxley won it, what, last year, I think?
Okay.
It's been in a briefcase. It's not been on TV, I think, all year long.
Okay.
I don't like that. If it's your world title, it should be on TV. You got Ring of Honor Championship. Now, they just crowned the Owen Hart champion, which they get Hangman Adam Page gets a world title shot. Uh, Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, now in AEW, she gets a AEW Women's World Title shot. But you get all these other titles, but you don't see their World Championship. What do you think about that?
Well, what's the backstory behind the title being in the briefcase and not being shown?
I don't know if it really was a backstory.
Okay.
If it is, I don't remember. He just came out with his group now, and it's been in a briefcase ever since. Like,
Okay.
it hasn't been on TV or nothing.
Well, I've noticed him carry the briefcase and not the title, but I'll be honest with you, Mike. I never put too much into thought of that. Um, Now, who was his last challenger? Because I haven't watched it in a few weeks, though.
The last one was, I can't remember.
Okay.
uh, yeah, I can't remember. Uh,
But MJF, he's got a program with the Hurt Syndicate, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the
I never
well,
seen that.
John Moxley's next challenger is what, in a couple weeks, I think, at Double or Nothing, or they just did that, or I don't know. They got a lot of pay-per-views and special shows.
Yes.
But it's one coming up soon, and Adam Page is actually going for that championship. Uh, I like Hangman Adam Page. Uh, he's from Virginia and everything, and I really hope like he wins. But for me, if you got a world championship, have it on TV at least once in a month.
Right. I got you.
uh, like like what are they gonna do? Just come out with, if Hangman wins, are they gonna just have a new championship design?
Right. Well,
Or
the thing is, the title itself is being defended. So regardless if it's in a briefcase, as long as the champion is defended within 30 days. But I see your point. The title should be shown, I guess, because it's supposed to be so prestigious. But then again, the guy holding the belt, being that that's their world champion, it's kind of like he puts it in the briefcase and it's not coming out. It's kind of like it's mine. So I see where they're going with it, but I understand your point of view where the title is supposed to be prestigious. So why isn't it out being shown and being like, hey, I'm proud of having this title? I totally understand. I don't know. I really don't have an opinion either way on that. I really don't. But I do understand your concern. And I do like the title shown though. I'll be honest. I do like titles shown just for the mere fact that, you know, I love championship belts. I always have, even as a kid. And then the 10 pounds of gold meant something. And then the big gold, when they changed it to the big gold and Flair had that one, that was a really pretty title. Lots of titles over the years I loved, but you know, the television title, the U.S. title from the 80s, the national heavyweight title, I can go on and on about belts, but, yeah, I mean, to be so prestigious in your world heavyweight championship, it would be nice to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't nothing. I guess with his gimmick and storyline, I guess it could make sense. I mean, I wish I knew, I guess, more of the backstory
Yeah.
on it. But to me, if you got a world championship, you should show it. But I mean, you have David Arquette and Vince Russo winning the championship, and they showed it. So, I mean, but speaking of David Arquette, let's talk about David Protein bars. And David Protein bars got 28 grams of protein, 150 calories, 0 grams of sugar. Uh, they got chocolate chip cookie dough, peanut butter chocolate chunk, fudge brownie, salted peanut butter, James's favorite cake batter. Blueberry pie is my favorite. The cinnamon roll is not the new flavor anymore. They got a new flavor and it's red velvet.
Oh
I
man.
just, yeah, it just came out and I got my order in and can't wait to try that one. Uh, but you go to davidprotein.com/Jamie T and save on those protein bars.
And while you're at it, after you get some scrumptious protein bars and you know they're being delivered to you, you need to go to Cowboy Revolution Apparel Company, cowboyrevolution.com. Get all your great merch there. Get you some hats, get you a tank top, get you a t-shirt. Hell, stock up on some hoodies for the fall and winter. Get prepared. Buy you some good merch today. Get you some American stickers to throw on your water bottles. Just support cowboyrevolution.com and Cowboy Revolution Apparel Company. And when you check out, enter Jamie T123 for 15% of savings when you do so. So once you get off here, listen to the podcast, guys, go get you some David protein bars. Go get you a t-shirt, a hat, a sticker, whatever, a water bottle, and have a great, great day.
Yes. Have a great day for sure. So back to a little bit of uh topic. This I didn't bring it up in the topics because it's actually a question on TikTok. It's from our friend from last time that asked a couple questions.
Okay.
Uh Mr. MVP, he calls himself. Uh what do you think about WWE switching the location of WrestleMania 42 that was supposed to be in where? New Orleans?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Uh what do you think about them moving that? Because he's actually from there and he sounds like he's upset about it.
Okay.
He wants but where are they gonna move it to? Like it's rumors that they might start doing it like in Las Vegas. What do you think about them actually changing it after they made a logo, they promoted it and everything?
So basically, from what I've read from the situation, is you're exactly right. It looks like it's going to be they're trying to do it in Las Vegas every year. It sounds like they want Mania in Vegas, just like they use a lot of their top UFC events out in Vegas. So it looks like that's what they want to do. And by them canceling out on New Orleans, which is, they've always did good down there. I went to One Mania in New Orleans back in 2014, I believe. The year that, I think it's the year that Lesnar beat The Undertaker and everybody was shocked.
WrestleMania 30.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Any big town like that, that they take WrestleMania to, they make all this money, not just for Mania and the WWE part, but the city itself makes so much revenue. And New Orleans has shown in the past that they can carry these big events and do just as good as any other big city, such as Vegas, like they're wanting to go back to again, and such as Atlanta, and we can keep naming towns, New York, whatever, Miami, right? Tampa, Orlando, a lot of places. Arizona carried it out there at one of their big stadiums. But the point being, my opinion on that is if they do Vegas again next year, or if they try to do it every year going forward, I think within a few years that Mania will hurt tremendously. Just for the mere fact that that is a major event that they've got used to taking it around from big metropolitan city to big city. And, it just doesn't seem right to me. So I do not like it myself. So MVP, I agree with you, my man. They should not change the location. New Orleans is a great town. I've been there for WCW. I went there that year for Mania for the fact I was doing Evolve and FIP shows and WWN and Sean shows. That's why I went out there. I didn't go out there to referee WrestleMania, but I was there. But what I'm saying is it's a great town, wonderful place of history as well. And I believe that, they should have, once they agreed to do it there with the city, they should have went ahead and did their promise.
So how much money and time do you think they wasted on this? Because you got to think they had to plan it for what, maybe a year. Then you hire people to make the new logo and stuff, and then you had The Rock come out, pretty much killed his heel character to promote, because he was a face when he was promoting WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans. So nothing is adding up to why they kind of canceled. So, but how much time and money do you think they really wasted to change it at the last minute?
Well, when you talk about that, I don't know how much money that they wasted on that. I really don't know how much money they go into when they start the campaign ad for such an event. But it's got to be pretty hefty. But regardless, of that, we can go back to what I was saying earlier, that Mania is a traveling show. We've seen them close together over the years. Like, hey, they went to Miami one time and a few years later they were back in Miami, right? No big deal. But 2 years back to Vegas, that might have been fine. But you had it set in New Orleans. I think they should have went with their obligation to New Orleans, did that. And then if you wanted to go back a year after, go back to Vegas the following year. But, it's their company. They do what they want with it at the end of the day. But I think what it comes down to, the whole reasoning behind it is TKO, just like UFC ran a lot of their events in Vegas. I guess they're using the same formula. Vegas drew. Let's go back to Vegas. We do all the UFC fights in Vegas. They always draw. So I guess they're using the same formula with the WWE product. Another thing I'm telling you guys right now, if you hadn't noticed, when the WWE puts their traveling schedule on now, a lot of the smaller markets are not getting events no more. Keep that in mind. When I say that, I don't mean like they didn't run towns like the Crockett's, like the high school up in Harrisonburg, Virginia, or nothing like that. I'm talking about they're not even running towns like, I'll use one for example, Mike, Roanoke, Virginia, because we went to some shows here for the WWE here. They're not even running this market no more. It's a smaller market. You know, the biggest city that comes closest to us is like Norfolk, Richmond, or down in Charlotte and Greensboro. You know what I'm saying? So I think their whole thinking has changed ever since TKO has went in full effect on, how the landscape of the business should be.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like it. Like you got fans all over the world, small arenas, big arenas, small cities, big cities. When me and you went to the one in Roanoke, it was sold out. Uh, it was just a live event, not televised or nothing, but the Roanoke Civic Centers was sold out. It was probably because the Good Brothers was at the show, but I mean, it was a really packed, fun show, and I know they had to make good money on it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a stronghold for the Crockett's for many years. WCW ran it years later. WCW did pay-per-views here. Hell, they even did Nitro here. They did a Raw here in the heyday of Raw. SmackDown was here when I had one of my tryouts that week, um, back in 2007. So, I mean, but I really believe the people that are booking these towns now, whoever's in charge of it, the whole landscape has changed for them. They're looking at the business in a total different light. And it's another thing I think they're hurting. And, you know, a lot of people may disagree. All the big money tickets that they're charging, the prices for these tickets have gotten out of hand. I mean, think about the price. If you go look at the price of these tickets to go to these events, even some of the house shows are very, very high priced. You're going to bankrupt the average wrestling fan from coming to, you know, I'm using that word. I'm not thinking they're that stupid to hurt themselves, but I'm just saying you're going to hurt the average person and they're not going to be able to come to your events in the long run because the tickets have gotten out of hand. Thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars just to go see one of these events. And I also believe, you know, over the years it's got worse and worse, but I also believe that it may be because of the new regime that took over and bought the company, that they're looking at this differently and using a different business module. So that's what I think. I really think they're using a different business model to run this thing. But tickets for everything has got astronomical. Concerts, wrestling events, football games. It's gotten ridiculous for the people to be able to afford and enjoy themselves. And I think WWE, which was once, you know, a pro wrestling company that really reached out to their fans, I think they're disconnecting in a way because, I mean, some of these people can only run up so many credit cards, you know, and pay so much for a ticket until, hey, I can't go to that event. You know what I'm saying? So I really think they need to get their grasp on, and do they even do house shows anymore? That's a good question. I mean, you did go look up their live events. I don't even know if they even do house shows anymore.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely changed for sure. Cause you got to think WWE, like you said, was in Roanoke, but then back in what 2008, 2009, I think TNA was in Salem, Virginia. Uh, I don't think they come close to over here anymore. So
It's been a couple years.
yeah, so
It's been at least two
uh,
years since they were here in town. And then you do know that AEW ran back in 2022. They ran Salem one time, had a nice house, said they were coming back, and AEW never came back. So I don't know what it is, why a lot of them are not hitting the smaller markets like this, but you know, you need it all. You need to hit your smaller markets, hit your big markets. Um, but you know, I don't know, dude.
I don't know, but do you remember what happened on May 30th, 2000? And it's going to be a WCW Thunder from Idaho.
Yes, I do. May 30th. I'll tell you what I remember from that night.
I mean, it's a good memory because I've seen it so many times since I found it, and I just love it so much.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean,
So,
it's not good for you though.
so what Mike's referring to is on this date back in the year 2000, WCW Thunder was in Boise, Idaho. And there was a particular match in question here with Chris Candido and the legendary Terry Funk. And they ended up wrestling back through the curtain, back in the backstage area. Uh, Funk throws Candido in the back of the truck, jumps in the truck, drives off, leaves me holding the hardcore title in my hand. And the next thing I know, I'm chasing a pickup truck up a hill. I don't know how far it was from there, maybe a mile or two. And we end up at a horse barn, a horse stable, I guess you'd call it. Not really a barn, a stable. And that's where the match was finished.
Yeah, if I'm thinking correctly, because like I said, I've seen it a few times, and I know you and Jules talked about it on the podcast, and I think me and you talked about it a couple weeks ago. Uh,
Yeah.
did didn't your face kind of go in horse manure a little bit?
No, that was Funk's. I think put Cadito's face in it, or vice versa. My face never went in the horse
I
manure.
I think it came close then, because I might have to recheck it, but I'm pretty sure you was close then.
Well, after Funk hit me with a trash can that just so happened to be a metal trash can that happened to be at the stable, hits me with it when I get up there to help finish the match. He realizes there's no ref to count, so he dumps a trough of water on me for me to count. So I do remember that.
But the horse almost took out Funk, didn't it?
Yes, the horse kicked while Funk and Candido was in there. Funk actually pile drives Candido in the stable area, and the horse like does a back kick. Like if Funk wouldn't have moved, he got kicked in the arm. But if he wouldn't have moved, he'd have got it right in the head. So yeah, it could have been a scary situation because when a horse kicks you, man, I'm pretty sure people's died before. So, but you know, Funk just comes out of there cussing the horse and finishes the match. You know, classic Funk. He was always really cool to work with, and I enjoyed every bit. House shows and TVs I did with Funk, one of the best ever, man. Um, Funk is up there. One of the best, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's good. I like him. But I'm telling you, that match, and you had to run a mile or so to get over there to count the 1, 2, 3 and stuff. Like I can go watch that over and over. It's that or see Samoa Joe give you a muscle buster in the ring.
Yeah,
Uh,
that happened quite a
yeah,
few
those are
years later.
yeah. Your good friend Taz asked like if you broke your neck or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was great up in TNA. I really enjoyed it when you got beat up a lot.
I'm sure you did, but I took it like a champ. You know, I got muscle busted by Joe. I got hit with a trash can by Funk at the stable. I'm trying to think. Got put through a table. Remember WCW got put through a table once, saving Jeff Jarrett of all people. So
Don't forget about Vince Russo hitting you with a lead pipe when he won the WCW championship.
now, was that a lead pipe or was that a baseball bat? I can't remember.
it started off to be a baseball bat, but I think it was, what was it, Lex Luger? He pushed, I think, a lead pipe through the cage
Oh,
on the
okay.
outside to give it to Russo, and then he was using it when y'all was checking in on the other ref.
That's correct. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We just watched that too a few weeks ago. So
Yeah, I mean, Vince Russo's got to be up there. I mean, he took out Mr. Former 474 in the PWI in, what was it, 1996?
7.
Up in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if he took you out and won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, he's got to be in the top 10 for sure.
Well, I mean, and you can attest to this. We went and found the magazine. Out of all my magazines, we found the 1997 PWI 500. I showed you number 474.
Yeah, I saw it, but just like everything else, anything could be made. I can go out there and make a magazine and say I'm number one with Vince Russo number two, David Arquette number three. So, no, I saw it. He actually was Mr. 474. Uh, I mean, I guess he did pretty good back in the day. Uh, I mean, he used to wrestle, referee, a promoter. Somebody needs to put him in the Hall of Fame. And I'm talking about Jamie Tucker, not Vince Russo or David Arquette, which they are very deserving too. But James needs to go into a Hall of Fame. He's done it all in the business. Somebody needs to put him in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. And who knows? That may happen one day. It may not. But, I appreciate it.
If you do, can I be the one to induct you?
I mean, I don't have a problem with you saying a few words.
It's gonna be a few, and I will bring up a couple of your greatest moments, like Samoa Joe, Terry Funk, and all that stuff.
Please do. Please do. Please do. And then, make sure you bring up that I got hit in your eyes. You said he's one of the best WCW world champions of all time. Vinny Rue. Bring up Vinny Rue hitting me with a lead pipe.
Who knows? I might bring him to the Hall of Fame and let him hit you again, bro.
Okay, bro, bring it.
What else we got to talk about, buddy?
Well, I don't know what else we got today. We covered the Laurinaitis situation. There was no new Hogan news for finally. He had a couple weeks there, some bad stuff and then good stuff with the new wrestling company. We haven't heard anything else about that. Still curious to see what happens with that. I know I did see something where they're signing, they're like signing people to the league, and it's like, a couple girls, and I saw a few guys got signed. I don't know who they are because I don't keep up with freestyle wrestling or anything. I'll be honest. But I did see that going on. But other than that, there's no hype or nothing being built around it. So I don't know what really is happening. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And, I believe it's August 30th when it premieres. And we don't even know what TV station it's going to be on. So I'm waiting to hear that too. But, still interesting to see what kind of take they're going to put freestyle wrestling with a little bit of glamorous of pro wrestling with it, apparently. I'm just curious to see how that's going to mesh. So, I guess we'll wait and see. I don't know if they're going to let them cut promos or what.
I don't know, but it's always going to be a very fun time when Hogan gets on stage, brother.
Well, no, let me ask you this, Mike. And this should be a question that we all should be wondering. What happens when the freestyle company opens? And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but they boo Hogan out of the building.
Um, you can't boo Hogan out of the building, like in his own company. Uh, I mean, I guess you could, but I don't see it as happening like right away. I mean, you gotta think it's gonna be people that's actually excited to see something new. You know, I don't think he's really gonna get booed out of the building. But we talked about it before. What he said should have never got out. He should have never said it and stuff like that. But like we said at the beginning of the podcast with everybody else, like with Brock Lesnar, he deserves a second chance. He's done so much for the business. He really is an icon in the wrestling world. If it wasn't for him, WCW would never been on top. If he would never went to WCW and helped form the NWO and stuff like that, what they probably would have never beat WWF 83 weeks in a row. Uh, he he took WWF back in the 80s and 90s to that next level. He had that on his back, so he did so much for the company and the wrestling world that we need to forgive him for what he said, because everybody's done something. Everybody says something that they regret, and he does. He regrets it. He apologized. People say, well, it didn't mean nothing because he said, be careful, like what you say, because there's cameras all around. But he apologized. He was just giving you advice. Be like, hey, just remember, be careful what you say, because people's always watching. And it's even worse now. It's more technology and stuff since then. So everybody knows everything in a split second. So we just need to forgive him, forget what happened, let it just go on, and let him do this. He wants to do it. Let him give back to the business where he wants to do it, and let's enjoy it.
Okay. Um, I mean, I couldn't said anything any better myself. I do agree with that. But I am going to armchair quarterback something real quick. What if Hollywood Hogan in the mid 90s, instead of being NWO with WCW, what if Vince McMahon and the WWE had Hollywood Hogan there? Do you think that they could have had some major matchups with Hollywood Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that would have made a lot of money?
It would, but I don't think it would have been as great as it was at WCW because I have a feeling if it was at WWEF, whatever it was at the time, if it was Hollywood Hogan at that time, I don't. You ain't gonna have the NWO. You ain't gonna have Hogan probably with another stable and stuff. Like you don't really have him with DX because DX I think came after the NWO, so you probably would have never had DX and stuff. So it would have been good to see a heel Hogan in WWF, but it just would have never been the same because like he needed the NWO to make it last as long as it did.
Well, that's a good valid point. Good valid point. I just was thinking in my head the matchups though. Um, man, it would have been
Well, I
awesome.
mean, like you had Hollywood Hogan versus The Rock, and like it changed for like heel to him going back to babyface at WrestleMania,
Yes.
like up in a really good match. Like, could you see that happen? Like, what up in the 2000s? Like, say like a year or something after he changed, like to become a heel. Like, how the WWF crowd is, I don't see him lasting more than 2 years before the crowd would have changed him back to a babyface. He
Right.
would try to stay a heel, but with the crowd and how the reaction is, he would turn face.
Yeah.
Like it would never lasted as long as it did.
Right. Well, nothing. Well, we know this for sure. Nothing nowadays would last that long with any wrestling company, especially theirs. The way the fans are at WWE. It just seems like it's like a light bulb turns on, it turns off. They change really quick sometimes with their opinion on people. And right now, the WWE crowd apparently, at least at the California crowd that week at Netflix show Raw, the first one, they did not care for him. So I'm hoping when this new company comes out, it's supposedly going to be taped in Cleveland, Ohio. Maybe the reaction will be good. And maybe being that it's not a professional wrestling show, he'll be looked at different as well. Who knows? But I'm just interested to see. They're really not talking about it no more at the moment. But I'm sure they're getting everything lined up. But I'm sure we'll hear something soon. Do we have any other news right now we need to talk about?
No, I think that's it, buddy.
Okay. Well, you know what, Mike? If that's it, I think it's a good stopping point for this week. We still need to get back with the WCW Top 10 World Champions in our opinion. I'll have mine. You'll have yours. We'll discuss it. I'm sure it's going to get a heated discussion over who we believe were the greatest WCW champions. And
Vince Russo, bro.
I knew you were going to say that, bro. Who's second? David Arquette?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I have different opinions on that, and we will certainly talk about that next time. We will get that in. I know we've been talking about it for weeks. We want to talk about it. But we will next week, and I'll be ready.
Like we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it next week. We just want to make sure we give the time and credit to the people, especially for a top 10. I know James does so much about Mount Rushmores, and he's got 500 different Mount
I
Rushmores.
do. I do.
But this is WCW's greatest world heavyweight champions,
Top
and
10.
we want to top 10, and we
Yeah.
want to make it right. We want to give you our honest opinions from 10 all the way to 1.
And I
Like,
do. Yeah, you're right. And then Mike is correct about what he said about the Mount Rushmores. I probably got about, when it comes to single competitors, I probably got about 18 different Mount Rushmores because once I say, these are my, no, never mind. So he's right. But it's been so many great champions over the years, so many great performers. It's really hard to pick. Same thing with tag teams. We need to do that one week. We need to talk about our favorite tag teams one week as well, just to go all out.
the Good Brothers.
I know Mike loves the Good Brothers. If you hadn't got that yet, guys, but they are great. They did great in Japan and over in the U.S. and they are very enjoyable to watch. I do agree. So we can discuss favorite tag teams one week as well.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll do a top 10 list, maybe once a month on different topics. We'll do WCW next week, and then next time, maybe next month, we'll do one for tag teams to go on from there,
Sounds good.
So,
And then who knows? Maybe we'll get more information about this case with Janelle Grant and see what's going on with that. Because I'm sure after hearing that something else is going to come out soon. And maybe have some good wrestling topics next week. Who knows? But as always, I've had a good time. And I hope you guys that listen have a good time. Don't forget about the wrestling shows that I mentioned earlier that I'll be appearing in June. Don't not forget about David Protein going there and Cowboy Revolution. Don't forget about the apparel company. Get you some stuff there, save you some money. Um,
Don't forget the Red Velvet David Protein Bar, the brand new one.
I'll have to try that myself one day.
Like I said, I just ordered it. I saw that it was new and everything, so had to order me one comes up in what, a 12 pack, so bought me 12, so who knows? They're gonna be good. Let's see if it's gonna be on the same level as my favorite blueberry pie one.
Well, it seems like Mike gives David Protein some business, quite a bit. So why don't you guys go out and give some business to David Protein as well? Get you some savings today. Use that code.
Uh, what is it?
.com.
DavidProtein.com/Jamie T.
That's correct. And then the Cowboy Revolution apparel company is cowboyrevolution.com. Go to the checkout and you put in the box. Don't forget to type Jamie T123 to get 15% off there. So yeah, there you go, guys. You got some savings at 2 different places. We've got some more to announce in the weeks to come on that as well. Getting really good around here. We love the podcast. Like I said, the end of July, we're going to hit it in a different level. We're going to call it season 2, and we're going to start videoing it, and it's going to be on YouTube, and you're going to have 2 different options. You could come listen to it on your favorite audio platforms, or you can go to YouTube and watch it and enjoy it there. So get ready for that. I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
So Mike, with that, let's go ahead and tell everybody our goodbyes. I've really had a good time tonight here on a Friday night. And guys, enjoy it. If you're listening to it late night Friday or whenever, have a good time. If you want to send us any comments, the social media feeds we're on, do that. If not, go to the email address, russellref123@gmail.com. So, with that being said, Mike, I think it's time to bust out of here.